Well, without further ado, we'll go ahead and start on this journey. So career exploration, you're probably thinking, I think I know what it is. I'm not quite sure what it is, or it just sounds like a crazy buzzword. And you're not entirely wrong, but I want to kind of dive into what our thoughts are going into this. Is there anybody in the chat that would like to share what they think career exploration might be? Don't be shy. You can unmute yourself too if you want, and let me know. But aside from that, what are you hoping to get out of this seminar? What is it that you hope to gain and take away from this? I hope that, whatever it is that I do touch on that I do accomplish that goal for you. So if there are things that I didn't get to touch on, or you maybe, like I said, it was a different topic, but it's still career related. We'll be doing more seminars in the spring too. So these are great subjects to go forward and have a, seminar series on. Knowing what career path you like to take, yeah, that can be a little daunting and a little overwhelming, especially if you're like, okay, well, I have my degree and I'm going to be graduating soon, or I'm going to graduate in 4 years, but then what's next? So we always kind of joke around sometimes, my husband and I, like, this is what I want to be when I grow up, and we're in our mid-30s. So we've all been there. But yeah, it's kind of like thinking about in terms of, what if I did this? Or what if we decided that this was my profession? Or what if I thought about this job in this way, or my degree path in this way? That's kind of what career exploration is. And although it might seem a little overwhelming and daunting at first, if we break it up in pieces and if we take it one step at a time, it is not that scary. And it can be pretty exciting sometimes too. I'm kind of a nerd about it, and I'll just kind of periodically look at things like a what if scenario. I'm sure some of you might be also thinking the same thing. Let me go on to my next slide. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and define it. Hopefully that will not make it seem like such a scary thing. Career exploration is pretty much the process of learning about career paths, job functions, industries, fields, and roles that can help clarify your professional interests, goals, and aspirations. So basically what that means is things that matter to you, things that you value, things that are important. I have some questions here that kind of come up when you think of career exploration. And I want to just kind of hear from you all. What are some key words or topics that come to mind when you hear those two words together? Career exploration, or exploring your career, exploring those pathways. What does that mean to you? Are there things that are important or valuable? But yeah, I mean, we're asking, why is it important? You might be asking me, why is it important that we do this? And I'm going to explain that to you, but I want to know why it's important to you that, you want to discover these tools, learn how to do it on your own. What matters to you the most? Lifelong learning experience. That is a good answer. Yes. Thank you. So when getting started, you might be unsure where to start. Some people might just hop on the browser and just start typing away and just typing in job titles. Who knows? You can do that, but that's where the overwhelming feeling sinks in. And that's where you see thousands and thousands of pages of searches, and you're like, I don't know what I got myself into. And so you're probably wondering, how would I start my search? What are the best methods? What sources do you use? How do I think in these terms? But again, like I mentioned earlier, you want to think about what's important to you. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, you got to think about what matters to you. You have to think about what your priorities are. What are some things that you enjoy doing versus also what things are you really good at? Those may or may not be the same thing, and that's okay. I like to think about what type of things interest me. And I even made this list of things that I'm really good at, and things that I like to do. And there is a little bit of crossover. For example, this isn't the only thing that I'm passionate about. Career services isn't all that I am. I also enjoy researching, archival, data analysis, and things that kind of involve like library science. But as you can tell, I'm not a librarian, and nor do I have a library science degree. But those interests and skills are still being utilized with this position that I have, because I'm able to research labor market data. I'm able to provide you with tools and resources and websites just like a librarian probably would. So that's just one example. And if you also have an example, feel free to put it in the chat. I'll be referring to that too a long time. But one particular story that I kind of want to share before I move on is when I was getting my bachelor's degree, I had a professor, he was amazing. And I got my degree in mass communications, by the way. And he was talking to us about like kind of like all the possibilities that are there, and that we shouldn't box ourselves into one particular field, because he overheard a few of the classmates and I talking about like, are we just going to be reporters? Are we going to, just work for a newspaper for the rest of our lives? Because we could tell that newspapers might not be around for much longer. Everything was going digital at that time. And so he's like, okay, well, here, let me tell you this story real quick about this other student from a few years ago. And he told us that she was kind of in the same predicament. She loved working with horses. She loved things of the equestrian lifestyle, and also was getting her journalism degree, working for like public relations and things like that. But she wasn't quite sure how she could mesh those two together. And he reminded her that you can be an advocate. You can be the one to share their story, their mission and vision and values of whatever company or organization that happens to align with those interests of yours. So there's, tons and tons of things, related to horses out there that you could probably be a part of. And it kind of had a light bulb moment for her. And she realized, oh yeah, I could work for a magazine or a nonprofit that focuses on that aspect. And I could really share what I'm passionate about that way. So what I mean to say, or just coming full circle with it, is don't box yourself in. I'm probably going to repeat that a couple more times throughout this, so bear with me. But yeah, don't put yourself in a box. Think about all the possibilities. Nurses don't just work in hospitals, right? They work everywhere. So I just wanted to share that real quick before we get into my next slide. Think about how you search when you are at a library using library databases. So if you use EBSCOhost or JSTOR, then you probably know what I'm talking about. If not, dang, I'm sorry, I feel really old. But there are ways that you can search on those types of databases for trying to find certain keywords. So if you search like through keywords and things like that, and you're not using just your basic old internet browser, you're using certain websites, and I'm going to share these here in a minute. These are my favorite ones. It's more than that. It's more than just going to search on a browser, just typing in dental assistant. It's let's go to Handshake, let's go to my next move, and we're going to type in those types of things, and we're going to see a snapshot pretty much of what the outlook looks like for that type of position, even in your own neck of the woods. So that's what's really cool about it. So it's taking a little more deeper dive in how you search and being a little more strategic with how you search. A few other tips and how to think kind of online versus in your own, life, thinking of like on the local level. You want to talk to your professors. You want to get to know them, pick their brain. They are full of institutional knowledge, and they are just, there to really serve you too. And they have office hours for a reason. So definitely take them up on those office hours and just pick their brain. Some of them will do, I think, live Zoom sessions too for our global campus students. Take a class that's based on your interest. Take something that, a lot of us have electives within our degree program. And so that gives you the opportunity there to try something different, and kind of break away from the mundane of things and take a fun class, whether that be art or film or another literature class or history, whatever tickles your fancy, basically. And think about connecting with your program coordinator, student success mentor, as well as academic advisors. We are here to serve you. We are here to provide you with advice, the tools and resources so you can feel better guided and feel more confident about your academic career going forward. I will preface and say that not every degree program has a program coordinator yet, but you have a student success mentor, you have me, your career services coordinator, and you have academic advising for everyone. So we're here for all of you. Another great resource that we have here at NMSU is our Office of Experiential Learning. It is a wonderful website, or we'll put the advising link or information on how to contact us from Global Advising in the chat, as well as the Office of Experiential Learning. We'll put that link in the chat as well. That website has a lot of great information, a lot of great third-party links to outside resources, a lot of information on career fairs and things like that. That's the website that you also use to access Handshake, and that's like our online hiring portal, basically. It's a one-stop shop. You build your profile, you can create a resume from your account, and you can apply for jobs through there, attend hiring fairs from there, and info sessions, I believe. Just anything that you might be interested, they probably have it. So if you haven't made a Handshake account yet, definitely do so. We'll be putting the link to the Handshake, how to log on to the Handshake through NMSU in the chat as well. So think about other things like the career pathway list that we have on NMSU Global. So almost every degree program on our website has a page, its own special page. And if you go about halfway down each page, there's a career pathways little spot. And each spot has a list about maybe 10 or so careers, possible careers that you could have with that degree. So those are the most desired industry demand jobs. We're not just going to list, any jobs. We're going to list the ones that are most sought after. So that way, hey, I could grab this. I'm going to show you how that we do that, how we can use those career pathway lists to search. So I'll explain that kind of like an easy way to do it. Also in your own time, in your own local area where you live, you can join a club or a group. We have them here too at NMSU Global, but on the local ground level, if you want to be more connected to your community, volunteering is a great way to start doing that. Some people will join theater groups, church groups, whatever that might look like. This is, I know that sounds crazy, career exploration, because you're still figuring out your interests. You're actually entertaining those interests too. Another great way is to subscribe to newsletters. Workforce GPS is a great one. You can subscribe to, I want to say, higher ed jobs. I've subscribed to their talent network, so I get some of those messages too. A lot of these websites here at the bottom, bullet point, like Handshake, My Next Move, Onet, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, and higher ed jobs. Like I said, they all have newsletters, and they also have talent networks. So talent networks is a great way to kind of have your career exploration work for you in the background, because you can put whatever your preferences are, and it'll just send you, however frequently you want, a list of all the jobs that are available right now. So it's pretty cool. And just think about like how you would explore interests where you live. On the local level, there's local chambers of commerce. There are, like I said, Rotary clubs, churches. Their career interests are everywhere, and everyone who lives in the United States also has access to employment sites. So your state and or county has an employment office, and they are there to help you with this very thing too. So if you feel like you might need a more hands-on approach, like in person, one-on-one, definitely reach out to those entities too. They were very, very helpful. All right, so I was talking about this just a second ago with using that career pathways from our website and how we would search basically. So I just, out of curiosity, took the ICT bachelor's degree program. I felt like that one was a pretty good one. ICT is still pretty popular. We always need people to work on computers, especially now, it being 2023. So the very first one says computer support specialist. So I was like, all right, I'm going to grab that one. And I think I may have actually tweaked the terminology a little bit when I went to search for it. but I grabbed that job title and I went to mynextmove.org, and there is a section on there that you can just search occupations. And that way you can get like a forecast of the education requirements and skills that are needed for those jobs. And then you can also look at the job outlook and see, how well is this job even doing? Like, how does the future look? Because I'll be graduating in a few years. I'm not graduating right now. Will this job still be viable for me? That's the really important thing we need to take away, is making sure that these prospects are viable for you, our students. So what I did was logged on to mynextmove.org, typed in, I believe, computer support specialist. I may have also typed in computer specialist or IT specialist, I think, and searched it, and up popped this information that you see here on the right. This is a breakdown of the education requirements as well as the job outlook. So this is just a snapshot from what is presented to you when you're on this website. Of course, it has like a lot more information. You can click on these little boxes and it can show you more information that's really, really useful. But just to show you guys the education and job outlook before you kind of go off into this on your own, this snapshot tells me, okay, a bachelor's or an associate's degree is what's needed. I don't need to get a master's degree or a doctoral degree. Okay, cool. That's great. I might need to get some training. I might need to get some certifications, and these links will show me how to find them. Awesome. And let's look at the job outlook to the right, and that kind of shows you kind of like a forecast, how likely there are going to be jobs or even job postings. Like there might be a need for them, but we keep hearing sometimes, like how the unemployment rate is doing across the US and how many jobs were created. That's kind of what this comes from. And also, this information comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is constantly being updated by the federal government. So it's pretty accurate. It is just an easier way to look at it all. But this kind of shows you how likely and how the salary is doing with this job. So it's got a pretty good outlook. Overall salary range is around 68,000, so not too bad. But if you can tell, there's like two smaller numbers at the bottom, and they kind of go from a smaller range at 42 to all the way at 115, and that's pretty high salary. That's awesome. That's what we want, right? Now that varies state to state because of cost of living. So you want to check out your state. If you're thinking about maybe moving somewhere else, look at a different state. Type in Los Angeles, California, or type in Tacoma, Washington if you want to, and just see what the salary looks like for those types of jobs there. If you're not thinking about relocating, you want to stay where you are. I think some people said they were in Texas, some people said they were in New Mexico. So you can see what the salary info and the forecast is basically for that job anywhere. And then you can go one step further and find jobs with, that have that job title in your area. So it's a really useful tool. It's one of my favorite sites to use. I like to use it with the students, as well as it's very military friendly too. So if that's something that plays to your interest, definitely look into mynextmove.org. ONET is another great one too, and we'll be sharing that in the chat as well. Other examples, I just mentioned this one. This is ONET. Excuse me. I circled this little spot here in the bottom left corner because this is kind of a quick, easy way for if you're kind of stumped, you're like, I don't even know what to type. Or I do know what to type, but I feel like I might be typing the wrong thing because I don't know all the job titles that there are. I don't know all the skills that there are. Let me definitely click on one of these things. So the Bright Outlook, again, kind of shows you which jobs are like really sought after, doing really well, and will continue to do well in the future. And that's going to be a pretty big list, but you can kind of fish out which ones might pertain to you, which ones you might be interested in, and explore from there. You could also look at industry. So based on industry, if you want to go into the medical field, or let's say maybe you're in the community counseling and psychology, medical field would still pertain to you because people can work at inpatient care units and things like that for mental health. Job family, I think it's like kind of like a tree, and it kind of branches out for you and it breaks it down in different families like that. And then you can look at all occupations if you really want to. You don't have to, but it definitely gives you a perspective of, oh, okay, now I know what type of things I should type in. Thinking in that mindset, maybe looking at all of those things might help you out whenever you do search. And then this site here over on the right is called Centerlink. This is really a great job board site. Now, it doesn't have all the features that ONET or My Next Move have, but it's great if you are somebody who maybe might want to do anything pertaining to the LGBTQ community. So advocacy work, social justice reform, things like that. If you're in paralegal, this might be up your alley. Or if you're in mental health, social work, this also might be something that you would want to look at too. So this is all centered around LGBTQ organizations, nonprofits. It's a very great resource for jobs. Like I said, it doesn't have all the features as My Next Move or ONET, but it shows you all the jobs that are available that are centered around LGBTQ communities. So just to recap, want to just kind of remember to take a deep breath before you dive in and think about all the career possibilities with your choice of major. Branch out and look at other careers with a different degree. Kind of play the whole what if scenario, like I mentioned earlier. You can focus on your degree path right now, whatever major you're in. That's a great way to start. But if you might be thinking about changing majors, this is also something that you can do too, just to see what it might look like. We have a lot of global degree program highlights and learning outcomes that are pages that are super helpful, and they're great starting blocks. Like I mentioned, that career pathways that's on our website or on every degree program page. Use that as your starting block, whatever that might look like. You can start out on the local level and either take a class that you might be interested in or join a club or group that's in your hometown. That's fine too. That's still career exploration. Those are little steps. We want to start out small and not kind of overwhelm ourselves at first, because like I said, there can be, millions of occupations if you click on that occupation list, and that might be a little overwhelming, or it could be exciting. It depends on your perspective of things. But if you condense things in steps, if you maybe jot down a list of things you want to tackle that week for your career exploration needs, definitely do that. I kind of want to challenge you all to make a list, or maybe give yourself, I don't want to say the word homework, but encourage you to take something away from this. Maybe have some goal items in mind before you leave here today. And I kind of want to hear from you all in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, either one. What are some takeaways that you from this seminar that you're going to use? Are you going to go to My Next Move? Or are you going to try just searching through LinkedIn, maybe just to see what jobs are posted? That's fine too. That's still career exploration, just to see what is valued there. But again, I wanted to encourage you to definitely utilize your academic advising staff, utilize me, your career services coordinator, and your student success mentor. We are all here to serve and support you. We are all here ready to just help you with either your career journey, academic journey, whatever that may look like. If it doesn't maybe fall within our realm, we can always find the answer for you, no problem. So I just wanted to remind you of that too at the end of the day. Well, kind of wraps up our seminar here today. I wanted to take a quick moment to share with you some upcoming events that we have. We have a new student celebration coming up tomorrow, actually at 4 Mountain Time. And then we have a a college success skills for online learning coming up on September 27th. So that one's going to be a real good one too, but that one's at 12 p.m. And then we're going to have a mental health support happening October 4th at 5 p.m. So a lot of great events coming up. Stay tuned to your emails to figure out how you can register for these events. But yeah, our new student celebration is going to be for all of our freshmen. I'll be there tomorrow. So if you happen to be a freshman too, welcome. Welcome to NMSU. We're happy to have you. And we'll just be kind of like an open house. So it'll be fun. again, we're here. Academic Advising is here to help support you with your academic journey and post-college too. So we want to make sure that what you're learning is what's needed for the jobs that you apply for. We'll probably be doing some more seminars in the spring that pertain to interviews, resumes, kind of some do's and don'ts for that. So I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you. Like I said, we have some more seminars coming up. Actually, I'll go back to that slide too. That way you can see those. But these are coming up here in the next few weeks. So definitely attend those if you can. And I believe that the more seminars that you attend, the greater your chances are of winning some prizes. So the more that you can try to attend and make, the better your chances are of winning. I'll definitely foresee us having a lot of winners. So I'm really looking forward to awarding y'all. But yeah, that being said, again, my name is Shelby Sears. I'm the Career Services Coordinator, and I'm here whenever you need support in the career world with your degree and helping you figure that out. We appreciate you, so thank you so much for joining us today.